Whoa. So we are on the page called Hyperbola and a Half Blogspot. So what happens is that due to some unforeseen circumstances, when I give somebody some some tips, okay, on how to survive, or give them some power to be able to do their work properly, the first thing that they do is they show off, and then it became very dangerous. So I came across this website, okay, Hyperbola and a Half. So let me just share a review, okay. So Menace, power can be intoxicating. Everybody loves having the ability to make the decisions reality. To think this is something that happens and then be able to make that thing happen. It can be dangerous, especially when it's applied to 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds lack the experience to wield power responsibly. They have no idea what to do with it or how to control it. But they like to look themselves into the mirror. Okay, so the dinosaur costumes was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The previous Halloween, which is the first Halloween I could actually remember, my parents had dressed me as a giant crayon, and that whole experience had been really uncomfortable for me. What is going on? Am I the crayon? How? Why did this happen? Mom, look, that's a weird dolphin. Being a dinosaur felt natural. It's circle time. Everyone needs to be sitting, or else we won't have a circle. So you don't have to draw really nice to be an artist, as you can see. And it's really powerful. Please sit down. A dinosaur need not obey to the mother. The feeling had been slowly intensifying ever since I put the costume on that morning. And as I stood there in the middle of the classroom, staring off into the distance in an unresponsive power trance, it finally hit critical mass. I had to find some way to use it anyway immediately. Yeah, look at the face, man. Rah! The other children screamed and fled. The teacher chased me, yelling at me to stop, but I couldn't stop. I was a mindless juggernaut, a puppet for forces far greater than myself, and I had completely lost control of my body. Well, I'm gonna throw shit, draw stuff. All I knew that being a dinosaur felt very different from being a person. I was doing things that I had never ever even dreamed of doing before. Give me the pants. Now. Yes. Give you a bitch. Of course, I had always had the ability to do things, even as a person. But I didn't know that. I just assumed that I was unable. As a dinosaur, I didn't have any of those assumptions. It felt like I could do whatever I wanted without fear of repercussions. The repercussions were also exactly the same as they were before I became a dinosaur. You sit here and think about what you have done. I just experienced them differently. Yeah. My parents had to pick me up at noon that day. The teachers explained that it must have been all the Halloween candy. Some kids really can't handle sugar, she said. It turns them into little monsters. I suppose it was a reasonable enough conclusion, but it only served as a distraction from the real problem. Why did you do this? Was it because of the candy? Yes, I'm going to give him a look. If this is what happens when you have sugar, we can't let you have it anymore. No more sugar. Do you understand? The thing about being an unstoppable force is that you can really only enjoy the experience of being one when you have something to bash yourself against. You need to have things trying to stop you so that you can get a better sense of how fast you are going as you are smashing through them. And whenever I was in a dinosaur costume, that is the only thing I wanted to do. The ban on sugar provided a convenient source of resistance. As long as I was not supposed to eat sugar, I could feel powerful by eating it anyway. Parents are the most powerful things in the world. Parents forbid eating sugar. If you eat sugar anyway, then you became more powerful than parents. So therefore you became the most powerful guy or dinosaur. Must exploit power. I'm sure the correlation started to seem rather strong after a while. I'd find some way to get sugar into myself, and then drunk on the power of doing something I wasn't supposed to, I would lapse into a psychotic monster mode, and to any reasonable observer, it would appear as though I had indeed having a reaction to the sugar. My parents were so confused. The terror sprees continued even after the house had been stripped of sugar. They were sure that they had gotten rid of it. Did I have a stash somewhere? Was I eating bugs or something? They still weren't suspicious of the costume. Boy, that kid really likes that costume. I lost weeks in the power fuel haze. I often found myself inside the costume without even realizing I had put it on. One moment I would be calmly drawing a picture, and the next I would be robotically stumbling into my closet where the dinosaur costume was and putting myself inside it. It started to happen almost against my will. Yes, I became a dinosaur morphing time. Surely my parents had made the conclusion subconsciously long before they became aware of what was really going on. After weeks of chaos, each instance punctuated by the presence of the costume, I have to imagine that very sight of the thing would have triggered some sort of Pavlovian fear response. Something is really wrong. Something is wrong. Something is going to happen. Oh, did they figure it out eventually though? And the costume was finally taken away from me. Should we take it to Goodwill? No, burn it. It would only cause problems for someone else. I was infuriated at the injustice of it all. I had become quite dependent on this costume, and it felt like part of my humanity was being forcefully, maliciously stripped away. I cursed my piddling human powers and their uselessness in the situation. If only I could put on the costume just one more time. But that was the costume's only weakness. It couldn't save itself. I had to watch helplessly as it disappeared into a trash bag. There was nothing I could do. So the reign of my power came to an end, and I slowly learned to live as a person again.